Yes, thank you. And if anyone brought a non-geek date, API is an application programming interface what allows a software application to communicate with another software application. I'll be talking about Twitter as the body sensor API. We're in the midst of what Google's Marissa Mayer calls the sensor revolution. And there have been a number of different devices tracking everything from runs to body weight to all sorts of other fitness metrics. In fact, last week, the device right at the top was announced. It is a glucose sensor that will plug into your iPhone for diabetics. These devices are not just for we early adopting geeks, they're actually quite mainstream. Millions of runners are already using the Nike device, they're using Runkeeper, and in fact the Wii Fit connected fitness platform is the third best-selling console game of all time. Now where does all the sensor data end up? It ends up at these beautifully designed companion sites and mobile applications that allow you to chart your progress, allow you to track how you're doing versus others, and in some cases share your data on Twitter or Facebook. But often it's stranded there. There is no agreed upon best practices for how this data should be accessible, let alone a codified specification. And while search devices as the Y things scale allow you to actually tweet your weight, many of them are completely shut off. You can find this, which is a handy Unix parser that allows you to use an SD card and then write this Unix parser and allow you to get access from your Wii Fit data. But I don't think that the 24 million people who own that actually would be able to do that. But shouldn't this data, our fitness and health data, be portable by default? After all, it's our body's data, not Nintendo's data, not Nike's data. If anything, this should be the easiest data to extract. So what's needed? An API or some other platform for actually accessing this data. And I think the best thing that we have at this point is Twitter. It's available, it exists, it's two-way, it has all the data restrictions that you possibly need, and it ultimately is being used already. Right now, people are taking advantage of that tweet this button to share fitness data by the tens of thousands on a daily basis. They're showing fit stats, they're doing Wii things. Any times that they actually tweet one of these statistics, it's a vote for sharing this data, for making it more portable. And they've created a robust data platform as part of that. Now, why are they doing this? Because everybody loves a pat on the back, and occasionally we all need a kick in the ass. And you see this happening where support and accountability work. And it goes beyond the anecdotal to actually clinical studies. Kaiser Permanente released a study this summer that showed that people actually lost weight when they started journaling their food consumption and their overall exercise. And it's possible that we could build even more experiences. We're seeing right now the people starting to play with open data, building gaming experiences. Hashable's doing it and Cloud's doing it with connectivity and social influence. But there could be so much more than that. There's a huge growing collection of data trackers, pioneering work being done by Datum, of course, but also your flowing data and tweet what you eat, which are actually using Twitter as a writing mechanism, not just as a reading mechanism. And that allows us to build all sorts of new experiences. My game Fat Dropper takes all the Wii things weigh-ins and creates a global leaderboards, but we're only scratching the surface. And if somebody comes up with some sort of motivational magic bullet, do you want to be prevented from enjoying a healthier life because your body sensor is incompatible? No. Twitter should encourage it, not just because Ev considers that company a force for public good, but also because there's a lot of money in this if they actually create this as a very effective channel for conveyance of all this different data. How do they do it? They avoid things like this. Doug Bernstein would probably be a happier Twitter user if he actually had a filtering mechanism that allowed him to turn off all the various hashtags individually or overall. You also need to avoid situations where someone who is oversharing is called out on it, like I was here. And this is a friend on Facebook. He can't unfollow me like any other Twitter follower would. But ultimately, I guess I was oversharing. I would probably share more data if I knew that that wasn't overwhelming to my fans and friends. So Twitter following is ultimately a critical device. They're apparently in the midst of developing a system right now. If they're able to do it, if they're able to make it annotated by the sensors, if they're able to make it filtered by the users, they can come up with a platform that could actually work for this. But more than anything, the sensor data needs to open up. This is our data. Shouldn't belong to the sensors. We should have complete control over our body's data. And if you're in the midst of shopping for a sensor, or if you already own one, you should make sure that the manufacturer knows about that. and you should ultimately do what you can to get that data open. It should belong to you. Thank you to Lloyd Lemur, who coined the term Body API, and thank you to everyone for listening.